Come out and you're here.
Yo, welcome to season 1 of Lovers Lounge presents Love and Be with Khadi Lee. And I have a guest here for y'all, my boy Josias Bishop. Josias, what's up, man?
Yo, what's going on, y'all? What's going on, y'all? Y'all know the vibes. We live and we certified. We sitting here with Khadi Lee. We in the spot. Shh, don't make it holler.
Yeah, you see this, man? Now, that leads us right into what we need to be talking about. Josias, tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Well, for the ones that don't know, well, today's the day where you gonna find out who I am. I'm an award-winning actor, best-selling author, Team USA boxing coach, film director, filmmaker, writer. I also do speaking engagements all around the country, not just where we at right here. You know what I mean? We're gonna keep the location on the low.
That boy booked and busy.
Yeah.
Nah, man, I'm very excited to have you here. It's crazy because with everything that you just said, it's funny how like you run into people through life and you get to see them and hear about all the things that they've been able to accomplish. And then sometimes you even get to see them accomplish things. For everybody that doesn't know, I actually met my boy Bishop here, as I call him, from church.
We was in church.
Yeah, we was in church. You remember how that happened?
Getting our praise on, you know what I mean? It was a natural reaction. It was just natural. It was organic.
was.
I think it was just like eye to eye look like, yo, who are you and who am I? And I'm like, I gotta get to know who this person is. He gotta get to know who I am. And I think that's just how life organically happens. And now look where we are. You know what I mean?
That's how life happens when
Literally.
there's genuine people.
When it's genuine.
Genuine vibes. Things don't ever have to be forced. You can kind of just vibe off of each other's energy.
Absolutely.
You can kind of just get that feeling, and you just know, like, man, this is a cool dude. Like, yeah, bro, it's
all
solid.
God.
Yeah,
it's all God. Because look, months later,
Hallelujah.
or maybe a little over a year later.
Yeah.
Not even months, over a year later, we are here now. First episode on the first season of your show.
You feel me?
Like, this is big, bro. It's a pleasure. It's an honor to be sitting here with you, man. I'm thinking, look at you, man. Forget about me. Look at you.
Man, I appreciate that. All glory to God. God
Yeah.
got me here right now, for sure. Now, I want to kick things off with the icebreaker.
Yeah.
So we're going to play a game.
Mm-hmm.
This game is going to be called Valid or Null.
Mm-hmm.
And the rules to the game are we're going to take turns pulling a card out of the bowl.
Yep.
The card is going to have a scenario on there, a topic where it's just going to say something. Your response has to be whether this is valid or no. And we might give a little bit of context because I'm a little curious to see, where we vibe with that.
I'm nervous now. Valid or nah, you dig?
Let's see.
And that's all I'm saying is valid or nah.
Valid or no, we might ask for a little bit of context. So just a little bit of context.
Copy.
So since you're my guest here, I'm going to let you do the honors of going first, brother.
All right. Shake them up. And you want me to read it to you?
Yeah, you got to read it. You got to read it to the people.
I bet.
They need to know what we're talking about.
Oh, my God. Yo, date more than one person in the same church is
Wow. Hey, it's crazy that he would get that one considering the fact that we was just talking about church. Like, okay, so what does it say? It says
date more than one person in the same church? That's crazy.
I mean, okay, so first of all, I know everybody have their own definition of what dating is, but dating doesn't necessarily mean committed. Dating could just be getting to know each other, hanging out, and figuring out if this is the one you want to be committed to. Everybody thinks like when you use the term dating, but it's like, if I take you on a date, that don't mean we together, but technically we've been dating.
You know what? That's funny because when I first came to this location, we're not going to explain about, because I'm from New York, right? In New York, we talk, when we say we're dating, we're together. So when I came out here, when I heard dating, they was like, yeah, we're just, messing, not necessarily messing around, but we just going, woo. We going on dates and stuff, but we're not together. That kind of confused me because if I'm like, yeah, we dating, you mine, you my girl, like you mine, like that's what I thought that meant. That meant that. To me.
Mean, for me, okay, so I'm from Cleveland. Shout out to the city, 216. Now, being from the city, we just say like we talk. We never really use the same dating. So people would be like, "Oh yeah, I talked to her. Oh, I talked to him. We're talking." So let me hear. Is it valid or no?
Nah, this is messy. I ain't. Nah, first of all, church gossip is something serious. The pastor find out, it's over. He gonna put, hey, come here, Sean. Let me tell you.
Done with it.
Yeah, like, can you imagine going to men's group or any groups that's there and stuff? How they gonna take you serious in marriage counseling? You know what I mean? How they gonna take you serious?
No, this is facts. But shout out to men's group, by the way, because
Yeah,
we
shout out
both
to
attend
men's
that
group.
too.
Oasis
You know,
men's group, you know?
Oasis men's group.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say nah too.
Yeah.
Just because of the simple fact, I think like in a church setting, it's typically more fellowship, more family oriented.
Exactly.
More people talk to each other. So it's not just like when you're dating out in the world, you might be dating two different girls, but they don't know each other. They don't cross
But
paths.
you in the same church. Listen, the church,
But in the same church, I'm saying
the
no.
congregation could be big, but
Yeah.
it's small when they start talking. I'm not, and personally, in my opinion, just because you in church, do not mean you cannot be emotionally attached to somebody and have some emotional problems within you that's gonna cause problems within the church congregation.
Okay.
I'm gonna repeat that one more
Okay,
time.
Bishop.
Does not mean you will not cause some emotional problems in the congregation within
Yeah.
the ones that you are talking to, because that means you dating more than one person. That's kind of tricky to me because I can't do that.
Yeah, it's very tricky. And I would say that that's why it's important for these conversations to be had for real. Because honestly, I think like, especially being in men's group, one of the things that I've learned from men's group is to view my female counterparts as my sister.
Yeah.
And to not automatically jump to an intimate space. So from that standpoint and understanding that and where I am now, I can see that. Like, so there really shouldn't be any emotional confusion taking place if we're catering to the brother-sister relationship.
That ain't dating though.
Yeah, so, but that's what I'm saying. That's why I said
This
nah
could be
in the
a
church.
long conversation.
Yeah, this one-
You got some. You know what? You.
This is a long one. We can put that one to the side. Let me get the
I'm
next
sorry
one.
about
Let's
that.
see what we got here. Let's see. Yeah. You know, I'm gonna go with this. Let's see. This is funny. Wear yesterday's clothes to run an errand.
I'm doing that right now. That's valid. No, I don't got to say that. You know what I mean? Like I purposely changed. You know what I mean? Changed
Yeah.
my drawers for this.
Yeah,
moment,
yeah.
Right? This is a legendary moment.
No.
man.
I think I'm gonna be honest with you as a guy. Like, yeah, for sure, valid. Like,
Yeah.
I need to run to the store real quick.
Yeah.
I'm grabbing that. What am I putting on something clean for
That's
when I'm not clean yet?
Yeah.
Like, I'm just running to the store. So it's
Nah,
like,
you ain't saying-
nah, that's definitely. You're not clean yet. Come on now.
You
You're
ain't-
throwing in you're not clean yet.
Ugh.
When you go to sleep and you wake up, it's time to clean the body. So you ain't clean
That's
yet.
a fact. I'm going to definitely throw the same sweats on. Like that's natural, like natural. Like I'm just waking up about to go get a bacon, egg, and cheese, some salt, pepper, ketchup, and mayo. You feel me? Like
Something light.
something light. Don't forget
Okay.
the bath. There we go. Oh my God, why do I keep picking these ones? This is crazy.
You picking all dated ones?
It's
Oh my
somewhere
God.
down that line. Abstinence.
Oh man. Okay. Valid or no?
I don't like you right now, bro. This is such a challenge, bro.
It is.
It's valid, bro. I gotta honor our Father who art in heaven. You know what I mean?
feel me?
It's valid, but it's challenging.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think most things that are quality and that are, that are good for you tend to be challenging. And with abstinence, for sure, I think it's very valid. I myself spent all of 2024 abstinent. So like my abstinence started on January 3rd. And through that experience, I was able to like kind of rebuild myself,
Yeah.
kind of get to know who I am outside of the things that I was finding that I was filling little holes with,
Yeah.
to replace and hide from insecurities and things like that. Because that's one thing we good at as people.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
love to act like we
good.
don't
We're
have
great
any
actors.
insecurities.
Mhm.
And we all do. That's the reality. And so I think that abstinence pulled away the cover. And so I wasn't able to hide my emotions or my insecurities behind the women I was dating like I normally would. Like I would normally just be like, oh, I'm feeling lonely. Let me call, fill that time.
Yeah.
I will say though, with abstinence, it is key to remember that, and it's crazy because the verse that's been sticking with me right now is Philippians, and it's, I can do all through Christ who strengthens me.
Yeah.
And that's because when you start to feel like you've done this in your own strength, that's when temptation kicks in the most. And that's what I found. Because even in making it to a year, I felt like I'd done something. I'd accomplished something. I'm good. I'm great. it don't matter. I can chill out and I can have girls over and everything. And the moment I had a girl over, well, we broke it. I broke it. And it was something for me that was heavy. And I had to talk to the pastor about it. And, you know, I talked to other counterparts about it. And they were like, you know, 7 times a righteous man falls, 7 times he gets up.
Yeah.
That year isn't wiped away because of what has happened. You still have that year of abstinence and you're moving from there. So that's something to remember too. So that's just something for my guys. When you think about that and you're like, it's hard, the biggest part of us thinking it's hard is because we feel like if we slip up, then we start over.
Yeah. And you know what I'll say to this? I mean, I was talking to a few OGs and I was saying, yeah, man, I want to be celibate. And they was like, oh no, we're not using that term. We're using abstinence. Mm-hmm. And it hit different. I'm like, it's a different. And then when I was listening to them speak, he's like, yeah, I've been abstinent since 2015. I said, ooh.
That's a long time.
That's maturity.
It is.
That's growth.
That's spiritual maturity, mental maturity, emotional maturity, physical maturity. I think we limit ourselves to those boxes and we think like when we're mature in one area, it applies to all.
And especially in the industry that he's in. Like I'm in the industry. Yeah. Like I'm working, and it's like the amount of temptation that comes your way is ridiculous.
100%.
And it's hard to turn the other cheek. It's hard. It's hard because you want to look. You got these thoughts in your mind, and I'm human. I'm not perfect, but it's
100%. 100%.
It's definitely challenging.
It's definitely one of those things that's just difficult, and it's the last thing I'll say, and I'll let us get another card because even as an R&B singer, you know, your boy's around a lot of beautiful ladies,
lullabies.
Yeah, you feel me? And the hardest thing for me was that judgment I felt like I was receiving from women. The judgment I was getting from men, I could deal with. I didn't care. However, when I felt like women were being like, you abstinent. You don't want this. What's
crazy.
Wrong with you? And it was like, start making me feel like I had to prove something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, that's that danger.
That's that.
You know, danger. That's that danger. That's that
just
part.
Them. That's just that 0.00001% of this world that think like that, bro. It's the facts, bro.
Yeah.
It kind of sucks, but if they don't get it, it's okay. Sometimes you gotta go in order to grow, and it's okay if they don't. Get
I love that.
Yeah.
Y'all ping that. Go in order to grow. That's facts. Crazy. That's crazy. Let's go ahead. Let's get another one in there.
I'm getting some fire cards over here, man. It's lining me up.
Yeah, let's see. Oh my God. Why did I get this one? Hold your friend accountable if you catch them cheating.
Who made these? Yo.
I can't give those secrets away.
This
you know,
I'm in my bag.
Lovers Lounge, Love and Be with Khadi Lee card game coming soon. Look out for that. I think it's valid.
Absolutely.
It's valid. And it's another one that's difficult. However, it's iron sharpen irons, in my opinion.
When you say accountability, though, what do you mean by what phase of accountability are you talking about, though? Because that's what I think the viewers need to know. Because some think, accountability. Sorry for cutting you off, but I'm even challenging myself with this because I understand it because I've been in that situation before where I had to hold myself accountable, which is kind of sucks.
Yeah,
but it's reality. So when you say hold accountability towards your friend, meaning do you want them to go mention about it or?
I think the level of accountability depends on the severity of the situation. And that's the thing. It's like, if you my homeboy and you flat out, like, you just acting like you don't care, I'm going to let you know you need to talk to your shorty, you need to figure that out. I think that's the best thing for you. However, if it's something light, like, you know, for instance, we all out as the homies, it's a group of girls, you just getting a little too friendly.
Yeah.
With one of the girls.
I can check it like, yo, come on.
I might just let you know, like, yo, bro, that's not cool.
That's not cool.
Yeah.
That's the accountability. Now, that's me sticking up for you.
Yeah, that's
you know
not cool.
But
the other one is me sticking up for her, and that's rightfully so.
That is. That
because if you love her, and if that's where you want to be, and especially if this is someone you plan to marry, as your homeboy, I have a responsibility to respect that union and to protect that union. So that means that when you married her, if you my brother, that's my sister.
Yeah.
So if you taking it too far, my mans, I gotta let you know with that severity of accountability.
I had a quick one real quick. In the early stages of my relationship that I'm in right now with my girlfriend, a woman who I'm going to marry. I'm excited to marry
Come
her.
on.
You know what I mean?
We love
I'm
that.
excited
Black
to marry
love.
her. Yo,
Black
for real.
black love.
It's who I prayed for.
Love,
so she's
all,
gonna
all
see
love.
this.
All,
You know, what I
you
mean?
know,
All
disclaimer,
love.
all love.
All
But,
love.
you know, I got a special place for black love.
In the early stages, like maybe like the first month, you don't know for sure. You're not for sure. You're
Yeah.
like a lost fish in the water. You don't know. And I will be on hikes with my boys, and I will still look at women and stuff, and they was like, they wouldn't even say. They stopped saying, "What if she was doing that?" They stopped saying that.
Mm.
They would then say is, "How would you feel?"
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't even a "what if she was." It was,
Wow.
"How would you feel if you found out she was doing this?" And it hit different because men, it hit different if we witness or we found out we've been cheated on, whether it's verbally or sexually or physically. It hit different to us because it's a different attachment. Women are more nurturers.
Facts.
They see the boohoo tears and the cries and all of this, and they naturally will forgive us. But
We be like, what do I do?
But men,
Yeah.
we don't forgive that easily.
Nah,
and
that's
it's
facts.
the truth.
That's
because
facts.
I think it's really I think it's really our testosterone level. I'm gonna keep it 100.
I think it's that, and I think it's pride. And I'm gonna
Pride.
say that
That's what I meant to
because
say.
for me, I'm not proud of this. This is pre-Jesus, Khadi. You feel me? You know,
Yeah,
your
we
boy,
all
done,
in there.
your boy done spent the block, done been around the block a few times. You feel me? And I done some things I'm not proud of, and I have been a cheater. And I think that pride was a part of that because none of the reasons why I was cheating was because of her. It was always objectifying me being cool or me keeping this image of this person or me feeding my ego or me feeding my friends or, oh, that's what R&B singers do. This is what I'm growing to. Like, it was always that. And I had to grow and learn that that wasn't acceptable. And what I will say is, because I don't know if I've ever been cheated on.
We don't know.
And the thing is about it is when I think about that is, I know that I know that I know that I know. If I found out that somebody was cheating on me, I would be crushed.
You would want to flip.
Devastated.
You would want to crash out.
Oh yeah, I'm crashing
That's
out
a
for
fact.
sure. For sure. Yeah.
But that's the thing though. I'm not gonna speak for all. I'm gonna just say this. Us as humans, we always want to have that feeling of just to know if we still got it.
Yeah.
That's what it really is. Like, do I still got it? Can I still do it? Can I still pull this? Can I do that? Let me see. Let me wear this today to see if I catch some eyes and stuff. Let me just holler at her to see.
Let me just see if I can get a little extra attention.
Yeah.
Let me hold a
we don't
little
really want
more
it.
friendly conversation than normal.
We don't really want it though because we
True.
know what's at home, but we just want to know that I still got it. Let her or let him slip up.
Yeah. No, that's facts. That's facts. I agree with that.
It's a hurtful thing when as men, when your boys could come to you and say, "What if you found out?" Because now it's on you because you got to look in the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't about what she's doing or what if you did find out.
Yeah.
It's an inner thing. It's an inner thing.
You're right. All right, bro. This is gonna be our last question for this game. Let's see what's in store.
I see the word. I can
Oh
see
my
the
God.
word.
Do you see the word? Oh God.
Opposite sex friendships. Opposite sex friendships.
Okay, so platonic friendships. Are men and women friendships valid?
Am I in a relationship?
Yeah. Relationship, single.
Ask me one more time.
Are male and female relationships valid? Friendships. Yeah.
Okay, this is the question I have. Before or during the relationship?
I think that's context. And I think that, and I might have to call you on that. I think that we try to hide behind context because I don't think it really matters. I think, is it valid or is it not, and why?
Love and Be with Khadi Lee.
You feel me? We gonna get to it.
Episode 1.
I
think it's valid. I agree. I think it's valid. I think it's valid because What's wrong with it?
There isn't anything wrong with it.
That's why.
Yeah.
And I think it's more of a pride thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's more of a pride for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I think society teaches us that men and women don't know how to exist without having some type of sexual intimacy. And I think sometimes that plays on even your heads when you're friends with somebody, because then you'll start to think like, oh, maybe, what if?
Yeah.
Could this be? And it's like you got to really learn that some people are really there to nourish your spirit as a brother or sister. And I feel like even out of a relationship, there needs to be boundaries. Because I will say some of my strongest bonds, some of my strongest friendships are with women. And before, when I would, get in relationships, I'd have to fall back on those friendships to make my girl comfortable. What I realized is that I didn't set boundaries in those friendships from the beginning. From being single to being in a relationship, there should always be boundaries.
This new day and age, bro, they do not care about boundaries, brother. I'ma just be, maybe we was back in the early 2000s, maybe late 90s. Then it's like, okay, like, blah, blah, blah. But now in day and age, that's why I asked that, like, before or during. Because now if I come into a relationship, all right, for example, I'm in my relationship now. My girl she knows that I hang out with a lot of women.
Yeah.
I also train a lot of women. Team USA boxing coach. I also train
sure.
a lot of women. And I'm very respectful, yes.
For sure.
And I know that some of them tried to get at me. I know that. But boundaries, yes. But that also can go for your partner's insecurities, which can be challenging. But then we are now put in a position, either male or female, to now we got to make this person happy. And that kind of sucks. Like, so that's what I'm saying. Before,
but see, I think it's what you just said that's key. So we already know what type of relationship this was from the beginning when you said they tried to get at you.
Yeah.
And I think that's the problem. So we think that we can make friendships out of someone that already showed interest because you don't have interest.
That's challenging.
But that's never going to go anywhere. So that probably can't be a friend of yours because they have interest, even though you don't.
Yeah.
But that is different from when women and men show completely platonic interest in friendship, meaning she ain't tried to flirt with you, you ain't tried to flirt with her, but there still needs to be boundaries.
Absolutely.
And that's how you keep that space healthy. Because at the end of the day, it's nothing wrong with the friendship. What can go wrong is the actions of the individuals. So those boundaries is what checks that.
I'll say this. The most challenging part is the communication when they decide to reach out to you.
Yeah.
Because I could be in a relationship with someone, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm in a relationship with my girl. I had friends before her. Never messed with them. They were okay with calling me at 11 o'clock at night. Hey, guess what? Da, da, da. That has to stop now.
That's that boundary.
That's that boundary. But now it does put a situation like where it's like they don't feel like you're there for them anymore.
Well, then that friend she needs to rethink herself.
She needs to,
because and that goes vice versa for the girls and for the guys.
Yeah.
Because if you're a true friend, that means you love this person. They also want to see you happy. Mm-hmm. So if this boundary respects your relationship but allows y'all to keep a friendship, then a friend shouldn't be offended by that. A friend should respect that and accept that. And actually, for me as a friend, when that happened to me for the very first time, that made me be like, oh shoot, she really loved him. And then for me, it was like, okay, maybe I need to set boundaries like that when I'm with, because it was something it was foreign.
That's if you're open to learning.
Yeah, that's true.
I have a question for you though, right? You're in a relationship. Are you allowing your girl to have male friends during y'all, she meet this guy and they want to be friends? Are you allowing that?
It depends on the dynamic. It depends on the intention, and it depends on how she introduced it to me. That's key. Y'all really have to understand your delivery is everything.
Yeah.
And honesty trumps all. Yep. Vulnerability, honesty. If I feel like you are being vocally honest with me about everything with this relationship, I have nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
However, if I find out because I have to ask you about things for this friendship,
something's wrong.
then that's different.
If I gotta ask you questions,
Yeah, I shouldn't have to ask you
anything. Second guess.
If this is your friend, if this is somebody that's becoming your friend, because let's be honest, if you just met them, y'all not friends yet.
Y'all not. So I don't want to hear.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
Y'all are cool.
Yeah.
And that's cool.
That you're cool.
And I respect
I don't want to hear y'all friends.
Yeah, but
cool.
y'all aren't friends yet. So if you guys are building a friendship, you shouldn't ever feel like that you have to hide that from me.
Because what are you really hiding?
Because that's the delivery. If you're hiding your actions with him from me, yeah, you playing with my top. You what? Come on. We not. That ain't happening. That's not happening.
The Khadi Lee before Jesus.
That's not happening. Yeah, y'all go get free Jesus Khadi.
Yeah. I'll say this because in reality, and this is facts. Communication is the strongest form of intimacy.
For sure.
Live in it. Live in the truth. Tell the truth. Be an open book to your partner, and watch how much you guys can grow together. And that's facts.
That's
love
big
wins.
facts.
You know. 1 Corinthians 13 verses 4 through 8. Love is kind, love is patient.
Yeah.
Just communicate. I'm telling you, man, it's when you find that one and you could communicate with her,
you got
about anything, and she randomly comes to you or you randomly go to her.
Mm-hmm.
I don't got to question what you doing in Jamaica. If you want to rub on your feet and that's for your birthday and you want to do the clay massage and all of that, go ahead and do your thing.
I don't know about all that, but
I just wanted to see where you was at with it. I just wanted to see.
Yeah, he got me choking over here. I don't know about all that.
I just wanted to see where you was at with it.
But that's where we end Valid or No here at Love and Be with Khadi Lee. We'll be back. Yo, this your boy Khadi Lee, and I'm here in the Lovers Lounge speaking with one of my guests that I have this week on Love and Be with Khadi Lee. I want to have a moment to do Grace Corner, though. Grace Corner is important because it's something that we need to show more grace to ourselves for, and something that we need to be thankful that's being provided to us, even if we can't see where it's taking us right now. Shout out to Nesquik for being a pillar in our communities for decades now. They're providing protein and vitamins to all the kids, and it's going to be our drink after our grace. My boy, Bishop, tell me, where do you think you need to send more grace to yourself? What area do you think needs more grace right now?
My heart.
Your heart. That's a big one.
Sometimes you could be too tough on yourself.
Yeah.
But your heart loves you. You know what I mean? Your heart is the beating point of this whole pandemonium of things that we go through. You gotta give grace to your heart. You have to give yourself a big hug once in a blue moon. Look in the mirror. Tell yourself you love you. Pat yourself on the back. Pat yourself on the back. Rub yourself on the back with your fingers. You know what I mean? Just tell yourself you love you. You know, give your heart some grace.
Yeah.
Because that's the one thing that we forget about sometimes.
For sure.
Heart. We say, I just need to give my mind some grace. No, give your heart some grace. Yeah. Because without that beat, there's no other beat to create. You know what I mean? So. For sure.
For me, it's gonna be parenting. I think that being a parent is one of the most exhilarating, beautiful, scary, hardest jobs that I would never quit. And I think there's really no rule book for it. So sometimes, even when things aren't perfect, I need to give myself some grace and accept, like, hey, I'm doing the best I can. I love you, baby girl, and daddy got you for sure.
That's dope.
All right, man. Well, cheers to that, man. Cheers to some grace. And yeah.
Cheers, brother.
All right.
I've been wanting to drink this I've drank this since I was a kid.
Yo, it's your boy Khadi Lee, and we're back here at the Lovers Lounge presents Love and Be with Khadi Lee. And I got my boy Josias here. Josias Bishop, my boy, just wrote a book. He got a second one on the way, so be on the lookout for that. We're entering our open discussion segment. And today's open discussion is going to be, what are your struggles in entertainment with being a believer? How do you maintain yourself and your faith while doing so?
My struggles in this industry, in this world, period, it's really, I had to learn that it's not going to get done unless you do it.
Come on.
It's not going to get done unless you do it, because there's a saying that I love to go by. Life is not about finding yourself, it's about creating yourself.
Woo.
and used to be's can't make honey no more. A used to be that's dead cannot make honey no more. You have to continue to be a new bee and continue to make honey, which that honey is creating.
Come on.
So this industry is not going to help you. Get that in your heads. It's not going to help you. You have to create your own endless opportunities. Not opportunities, but endless opportunities. And that's what I did. My book went #2 bestseller for a reason. I created it. Word from word, wrote it. My second book coming out, not going to say the name yet, is going to be a New York Times bestseller. Mark my words. I just created my own new TV series, TV show, suspense thriller, called Deranged Reasons. It's getting ready to get the ball rolling. I'm doing a lot, and I'm pushing my own needle.
Yeah.
Because God has gifted me gifts that He can take away. That He can take away. He gifted me the gift of gab.
Come on.
Anointed hands.
Anointed hands.
Anointed feet.
Anointed feet.
And the crown of my head.
Come on.
To have the wisdom, the knowledge, and the understanding to do everything that I'm doing now because of Him.
Yeah.
And I've learned that my platform is to bring kids back to His kingdom. Bring His kids back to His kingdom.
Back to the kingdom.
Who have lost their lives, who have sold their lives, who don't know who He is. That's why I'm being so much blessed in this industry. Yeah. Because He's given me endless opportunities to continue to create for myself to bring back people to His kingdom.
Yeah.
And that was my struggle, is not knowing that. But because I found God, I then learned that.
Yeah.
When I found God, He allowed me to.
And He was always there.
He was always there.
But you had to find Him.
That's the thing. He's not going. You're His child.
Yeah.
Your dad is not going to leave you.
He doesn't.
He doesn't leave you.
That's facts.
He just wanted me to know, and He wanted everybody else to know, to have 2 ears and 1 heart.
Yeah.
Open your ears to hear. And open your heart to accept love from Him.
I love that.
Because He's not going nowhere. So once I learned that I have God, I have my own Father that's there for me, who's pushing me to be great.
Yeah.
Who has everything. He's the author of tomorrow. He knows what tomorrow's going to look like. I then knew that I had nothing but endless opportunities because I'm one of His own.
Yeah.
So I struggled with the fact of not knowing until I found God.
Okay. I think you dropped a lot of gems there, bro. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, because for me, I've always, with my dad being a minister, he has basically spoken the word into my life, my entire life.
Your entire life.
I have rejected that so many times, though. And I think sometimes it's one of those things that we don't realize that, and I use this analogy because it's like my physical dad, in the sense of like God. God gives us so much grace.
Yes.
And He gives us so many chances. Even when we ignore the things that He's put before us, even when He warns us, even when He gives us, He's like, nah, don't do that. We still do it. And He gives us so much grace. And my dad would always say, I'm going to love you in spite of. I'm going to love you through. I'm going to love you to Christ. And I would always be like, Dad, I ain't trying to hear that, And I was out and I was doing my own thing. But it's so crazy to me because I would say now being a believer and being in entertainment, my biggest thing is if God ain't in it, I don't want it.
Ooh, that's a fact.
And I'm always praying that. And in the beginning, that was scary because I started seeing things be removed. Things that I didn't want to be removed. What did
you just say? If God ain't in it, I don't want it.
But see, here's the thing. I was new. And so this is for everybody, all my new believers, everybody, even old believers, even anybody that's a believer, if you're not a believer and you just listening right now. Sometimes we ask for something and we don't understand exactly what we're asking for. And it's key to accept that. Because the unknown, like you said, you want to know the next step. Yeah. But the beauty is in the unknown. Yeah. And the way that works is because us as people, if we knew from the beginning, we would probably still do wrong.
Yeah.
But because we don't know, sometimes we accidentally get it right. So for me, when I started praying that, and I would say, like, God, remove everything that you're not in. If you don't want it, if it's not for me, remove it. And I start seeing opportunities close. I start seeing friendships end. I started seeing even someone I was dating at that time, that fell apart. And I was like, yo, what? Like, God, you taking everything from me. And I even blamed it on being here in this space.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you don't want me here. You want me to move back.
Mm-hmm.
You really want me to go back to where I was, because that's where my comfort zone was. That's where it was easy. And God was like, no. And what I learned in that is sometimes it takes to be broken down to the foundation. The bare. Nothing's there. Everything that you've built pillar by pillar, brick by brick, but you've built them without God in there, sometimes needs to be knocked all the way down in order for it to be built back up. But this time with the right focus, with the right energy, with the right understanding, with purpose.
That's a fact. I'll say this. When people realize they're going to abstract clutches of their loneliness and their child throughout this exquisite, beautiful journey, they then will understand that it's not lonely at the top, right? It's not lonely at the top. It's just not for everyone.
Yeah.
And at the top, you're going to meet some people you never thought you'll meet in your life.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to extract those clutches of your loneliness and their child, because that's the journey when it's lonely.
Wow.
But when you get to the top, it's not lonely.
Yeah.
You're just going to meet the people that you're meant to meet that's at the top.
And so when you say the top, talk about that a little bit more. Because I know a lot of people have this.
Yeah.
They have this mindset of what they feel like the top. Like some people think like, when I'm rich, I'm at the top.
No.
Some people feel like when I'm married, I'm at the top.
No.
Some people feel like when I have kids, I'm at the top. Some people feel like when I've traveled the world, I'm at the top. So when you think about at the top, where do you think about?
The top is the bottom of the start of a new journey.
Come on.
The top is the bottom of the start of a new journey. So you just reach this tier, right? Maybe God has placed me in front of you to talk to this audience.
Yeah.
Right? That's the top of this mountain. But somebody gonna see this, reach out to you about something else, and reach out to me about something else. It's the start of the next journey.
You feel me?
And it becomes lonely in that journey until you reach that goal.
Yeah.
You know, so all it is the start of the bottom of a new journey.
The assignment.
That's the top.
The assignment.
You know what I mean?
And that's the thing that's crazy, because I think that men's group actually has been a place that's been a pillar for me, that's taught me that about assignment. You know, sometimes you just on assignment. And when that assignment is over and it changes and you go to something else, you have a new assignment, and now you're uncomfortable because you have a new assignment. But the uncomfortability is you in the fire.
What I say, used to bees can't make honey no more.
You feel me?
Used to do that.
Yeah.
That was that assignment.
So now you got to focus on this. Yeah, you got to accept.
Anymore. You got to create this right here.
Come on.
I'm telling you, it's all full circle, bro. It's full circle.
I love that.
You know
I love that.
That's actually my quote in my book.
Yeah.
It's not about finding yourself, it's about creating yourself. And my other quote is, used to bees can't make honey no more.
I love that.
You know what I mean? Life Sentence, Birth of a Legend, #2 bestseller on Amazon.
Yeah, check out my boy book. Tell them exactly where they can find your book.
Listen, you can find this on Amazon, Spark Notes, Barnes and Noble. It hit #2 bestseller when it first came out in the first 2 weeks of sales.
Come on.
It hit #2 bestseller. And to be exact,
that's a blessing.
11 days. I just say 2 weeks to just give grace on it. But Life Sentence, Birth of a Legend, Josiah's Bishop. Book #2 is on the way. Got a lot of more other surprises for you guys, so be ready. Thank you for allowing me to, shout.
No, that's what we all about. We all about bringing up each other as brothers and sisters, as creators. That's what this community is for. And I really appreciate you stopping by as a guest, man. This has been an amazing conversation. I'm gonna see you at church. I see you all the time. We're gonna chop it up some more, brother.
Yeah.
I appreciate you coming.
I appreciate you. Man. Listen, you got something amazing going. You got something beautiful going. It's a lovely process. This is the lovely process. Love and be,
Come on. We gotta get it going, man. Yeah. We're gonna get to it here. All right, y'all. This has been a great time. We're here at the Lovers Lounge presents Love and Be with me, Khadi Lee. And until next time, I'm gonna catch y'all. Peace.
Yeah.
You should slide through.